far as I know. That said, if I heard someone decided to kill themselves after reading or listening to one of my poems, that would just be pain. But I'd want to know a little more about the person and the situation before figuring out if it was really our fault, me and the poem. Good answer, the gent in robotics said. I want to be using what I know to help people who need new body parts. But I bent to tech and everything I do goes into weapons. This conversation occurred somewhat early this morning. It wasn't at the penny farthing, which is too bad because, well, I felt sympathy for this guy and we went on to have a fairly rational conversation on global politics and late 90s protests of the World Economic Forum, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank. The kind of conversation you could imagine a 25-year-old roboticist and a 52-year-old poet might have. Suddenly and amiably sitting in an establishment and deciding not to be strangers. The gent in town from Jersey for a seminar does have the ability to make his own choices. But if we had been at the penny farthing, I could have introduced him to Charlotte, having first said, Charlotte wants to murder the penny farthing universe. Can you help her? And if you can help her, can you make sure it all goes down when I'm not around? Right, part 3, title withheld. There is an actual title, but I do not trust any of you out there. She's not so lackadaisical as to resort to poisoning the entire... She's not so lackadaisical as to resort to poisoning the entire farthing at once. She could rig the ceiling to collapse, crushing all patrons, while a gun drop falls in her mouth. But I'm not certain a bartender's salary pays for that manner of operation. I personally am not interested in depicting some Tarantino-type fantasy of revenge by firearms. We need to feel with a little more imagination than that. Charlotte, do you wish death upon your foes at the bar or dissolution? You can slay these creatures with your eyes, they disappear. You can summon the whole hoary host of giant owl-bat monsters from Beastmaster to wrap their crazy wings around each human and reduce them to goop and jewelry. But if this is to be a testament to the deep meanness those fuckers inspire in your total being, I recommend blotting out the sun and challenging each customer to a drinking duel. You drink water, disguised as vodka. They drink Fernet mixed with scotch, really shitty scotch, and orange juice. You work their livers into such states of shock and despair they slump, quit, and die. Before hemorrhage, one by one, saving you a lot of mess and messaging. It'll take a long time. You'll have to lock the farthing doors, change your name, and hire wolves to bounce and get rid of the evidence. But you have this poem's fifth. You will have executed the entirety of the penny farthing monoverse before the snows of yesteryear return, and then we'll duck out the back door after one last gulp of dark red wine. See you never.
Next up, Carl Lauer. Carl Lauer is a New York